Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classics Known Classics, episode number 3240, and Doubleshot 3134. Usagi and Turtles. Usagi Yojimbo, Volume 33, The Hidden. This collects the 7-issue limited series known as The Hidden. And this was, sadly, by the way, also this was counted as for the Dark Horse numbering, issues 266 to 272. Yep. Now, for some reason, he said to end the ongoing, do this miniseries, and then he took the character from Dark Horse and moved it over to IDW for a crossover, which led to a ongoing for a few years, which has some color classic type series, which took stories published previously over in Dark Horse and print them in color. Because the thing is, for the Dark Horse, a majority of the Dark Horse run for Usagi was published in black and white. As for the reason for this, I'm not really sure, because toward the end of his time with the company, he did switch over the color during the last couple years of the company. So the Hidden is mostly put. By the way, this I'll tell you 172. So the big thing with this book is that Inspector Hiroshi, I think his name is, the guy who's a friend of Usagi's. Basically, we have a series of mysteries here. And we reveal, basically, there's also a version of Christianity in this series, which this actually is a take on the real-life Christianity in Japan, where when Christians, basically, when the movement started moving in Japan, people are persecuting Christians. This is a real-life thing that Santa kind of threw in his own comic book, and he made this inspector a follower of this religion. Though it's called by a different name here, but technically it's Christianity. And the whole thing is, people are being killed associated with it. And also, the Shogun has got this weird, gate policy, is that you have to you have to walk on this tablet on the ground in order to enter this town, which of course the police have no control over it. It's all controlled by the Shogun. And on this tablet is a cross, which basically, in the way, the Shogun is asking people to be disrespectful to Christianity. Well, this world's version of Christianity. And that's kind of the premise of basically people are suspected of being part of it. And the inspector himself is heavily involved with this story. Yes. He's not in the most recent book I reviewed, but yeah. All about catching criminals. Usagi did show up a little bit into the book. He's still hanging out in this town. He's, of course, friend of the inspector. Oh, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You have to step on this plaque. You have to step on it in order to be... here's the thing. If you don't step on it, you'll be arrested. You're like, what? If you don't step on this one thing, you'll be arrested? This seems pretty stupid. Okay. Yeah. And we also have a murder happening here. And apparently this chief inspector does not like Ronin at all. Usagi himself may be a Ronin, but at least basically he's working with the inspector. He's just working with him. Investigations. They're not Ronin. How would you know? Usagi is right. These clothes may look dusty and disheveled, but quality is too fine for poor Ronin. Pah! Who cares? Case is closed. More important, case is closed. The caption is me the thief. I want them to solved as soon as possible. Of course, Chief Inspector. He doesn't like me. He dislikes all Ronin. You can tell him that one of the victims was a corrosion. Yeah, that's basically the world's version of Christianity. And yeah, he's a follower of it. So, yeah, people are being killed because associated with his religion. Yeah, Council's got full sketch. Come back next week. This justice gives me the authority of the Shogun. Deny me, you do not have the Shogun himself. Now I demand this to the Counselor. At once. Yes, sir. Yeah, basically this one sword, like, okay, I can kind of buy the fact that sword is a symbol of the Shogun authority. After chatting with him for a bit, like, yeah, thinking he was a corrosion. Yeah, they explain, yeah, just, and of course they mentioned what happened in a previous story with the spies with a friend of his. And then he run into this snitch again. Yeah, the snitch is back. Yep. And, like, I think this might be the last time we see him, because I don't think, because he does not appear in the return to Dark Horse, because I think he gets killed off by the people he's trying to work with, or he's trying to coerce to work with them. Yeah. And of course, interrogating people per se. They all these like all this gang stuff here. Yeah, and of course, his treason. There's no such thing. I mean, entertainers are cursed of faith. What? Are you insane? Accusing the outlawed religion? He addressed immediately. The victims are samurai of highest rank. If it doesn't reflect upon the murder, if it reflects upon on us, murder not be caught. All evidence must be considered. Well, alright. But let merge quickly. And do not talk to the Soviet clan again. Yes, Amy? Of course, you, Inspector. Why you stay around here? I'm going to the city now. Usagi's job as assistance has been valuable in this case. I don't know if he will solve without his help. Okay then. I want to leave as soon as possible. Yeah, he will leave town afterwards. And this will lead into the crossover with the Turtles. By the way, the mysterious mask thing, that's not solved here. Yeah, that remained unsolved for some reason. Maybe Sansekai resolved it, so yeah. And revealed that the inspector himself was part of it, and he plays with the inspector's kid, and of course basically writes like a letter. And of course they're still chasing after this thief. The thief is like basically a Japanese version of Robin Hood. Yeah, and then the kid starts waking up Usagi, and then instead of being angry at the fact that this kid is basically waking up, be like, nah, let's just tickle him instead. Yep. So yeah. And then he decides that we have a piece of scripture that basically translates to like it says Kami wa Sono Anori no Ko Watawa. It says written language. Apparently what this is, it's John 3:16. Interesting, even though that's published in, I don't know, Japanese. Page the Bible, and of course they mention, oh yeah, Hour of the Skull, whatever. And I'm sure there's so many sense. I don't think this was the reason why Sansekai left Dark Horse. I'm thinking it was because his contract expired. So he did this miniseries as a favor for Dark Horse before he left. Probably also because they needed to have Usagi in the publication schedule. But here ended the ongoing, but they needed for these particular months because basically I think it was solicited for another more Usagi stuff. So he did this miniseries, then he was allowed to leave, no problem, to go to IDW. Though he eventually came back. Yep. Person at home, yeah. Sammy? Yeah, they're talking about. Apparently, yeah, he is part of the religion. Want the book. Yeah, and one guy basically has got like a collar, like he's basically Shakespeare. Yeah, he's wearing like the weird English style collar, which is, I think this is the collar associated with the Queen Elizabeth I era. They murdered the samurai, reserving his companion. We are Shogun officials. We have been after the foreign book since the Rider Nukaji ends now. And you, the petty thief who stole the book from a corpse. It knows. Scum. Time wasted. You killed him in cold blood. The book is evidence of murder investigation. And one of you are suspects. I arrest you in the name of Shogun. What? You gotta be kidding. Those who are? Kill them! Bring me the book. King. Sure, what did we say? And of course, Ninja gets away. Yep. And then this guy is killed. Well, basically his back is slashed. Like too many of them. Very few. A glorified side of thief. Yep, a massive brawl. Like, kill him! I want that book! After killing all these guys, like... Just, has the book. Kill him! Bonus. Yep. The book. Worth a fortune. Bonus is mine, I'm rich. Give me that book. And they fight, and then... They're like, peasant has the book. Take him. The Shogun is evil. They must not get hands in his Bible. The fire. And the guy proceeds almost right. Burns, but look at me stop immediately. Civil sacrifice. Shoguns not learn secrets of religion. For our teachings, for their propaganda. Yep. And then the fire, and of course they'll die like for keeping fire. It's funny. Good job, fireman. Don't come any closer. But now, it was destroyed. That's the outcome for us. It says over. Money. Yeah. Unfair. Company to Shogun. Complaining to Shogun. Let's go. I remember you, Ronin. See you at Paps and across again. I guess we're going to 2002. 1. Cheetah. You behind this? You can burn an entire Team Spectre. Have we solved the murders? Yes. We did. You can arrest the 4 walking away. Who are those guys? Who are they? Shogun agents. Shogun agents, you say? Yes, they're beyond the law. The case is closed. Do you understand me? No one is beyond the law. I already abandoned this case. Understand? I understand you, Inspector. Case waits here, Ronin. I think he's behind this. Chief Inspector. I won't let you protect anyone longer, you. I want him gone and arrest myself. I'll see you again. Serious. I don't know what's thinking in time to continue on the road. Understandable. Goodbye, Inspector. I'll see you again. I think it's Zami again. Zami. What's here as well? Zami was saved so I can life. He walks home. Sees his family. Actually, he actually goes to church. Yep. Yeah, that's what he actually remembered the religion. And then we have this Kibi, Tommy, and Nojima, which is funny. It's good comedy. And that's the end of the first Dark Horse era. Yes. This book was interesting at best, but... Excuse me. It felt a bit of a weak conclusion to this really good era for Usagi. This era that lasted for about 15 years. Long running. And the cap of this miniseries is interesting, but I'm going to give the hidden roughly 8 out of 10. Final thoughts on the Dark Horse era for Usagi Yojimbo. An excellent era. Now, with the exception of the miniseries, it was kind of weak, kind of Not as good as previous. It's more like a follow-up to the previous arc of the last arc of the series. This was a very interesting time for Usagi. It is by far having the longest run out of the previous 2 eras for Usagi. Fantagraphs was a few years. Mirage was basically 2 years. And this book was like 15 years, so it took 3 years off because the writer was, I think maybe with burnout or something. But excellent stuff here. So, first Dark Horse run is done. So, what's this review? What remains Fantagraphs run and the current Dark Horse run, of course, IDW. Next up we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, Volume 5. This book collects issues 17 and 20 of the Adventures ongoing series. And also, with this book, I have 24 issues left to review for this main ongoing. Yeah. So, basically 17 wraps up the whole world traveling stuff. Yeah, by 18 they actually finally go back to New York. I've been gone for several issues. So basically they're just paddling around the ocean for basically mostly this issue. I'm glad Raphael got rid of that black suit he was wearing. Yeah, he finally got rid of that. So they basically were very serious, beat some pirates up. All fun here. Raphael apparently is not wearing his mask for some reason, so that be at the manta ray, and then eventually, like, epilogue in New York City, the mysterious guy thinks he's Claw from Inspector Gadget, and, well, this issue particularly, we choose Mondo Gecko. Yep. And it's called Mondo Metal. Yep, this book is basically the comic debut of that character. Plus, this is basically like the reunion with Splinter at the end of the issue. Yep, and of course, he's Mondo Gecko. And they have pizza. And you're thinking, wait, okay, so where's Shredder, Beaver, and Rocksteady? Not here. Yep. Clearly not here. Of course, they're back in New York City. And they show stuff around. Of course, April's here with Master Splinter. We're talking about lawyers and who this guy is. And we have the Space Cowhead. Yeah. Shows up here. And, of course, basically just doing some fighting in New York City now because they're not out of the country. So we kind of see what this guy's face looks like. And he's basically this weird... He has sort of this demonic look to him. Yes. And his name is No. And then basically for the final issue of this book... Oh yeah, beating the mutant animals. That was the previous issue. And basically just a regular, relaxing issue. Just, of course, fighting like a couple monsters. Eventually, by the end of this, Beetle, Rocksteady, along with Shredder and Krang, finally return. Actually, no, they teased that for the next issue, which is probably in Volume 6. Really good here. I give this book here a 9 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up, I've been killing science for 80 years. Maxed out. Okay, next view. Bye.